fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver. The Lone Ranger.
Used the same routine every time. Seems to come out of nowhere. Pulls a robbery, steals a horse for a getaway, then disappears into nowhere again.
Him not leave any clues?
Only one, Tonto. Every bank he's held up so far belongs to Josh Blaine. Someone who works for Blaine is helping him.
That's why we camp here near Meadowtown Bank?
He seems to be following a circuit. And Meadowtown is next in line.
Gunfire, Kemo Sabe.
Tricked him again. There he goes. Sounds like he ran into someone else down the road. Come on. Wagon.
Get my gun.
Don't be alarmed. We're not bandits.
No? Well, then what are you wearing that mask for?
You'll have to trust me. I'll explain later. Did someone ride by here?
Sure did. A fellow rode by here just a minute ago, shot me in the arm just because I leaned out and took a squint at him.
Did you see what he looked like?
Oh, I'll never forget him. He had dark bushy beard, dark hair, and a patch over one eye.
I see. Tonto, that's our man. I'm going after him. You stay here and help the professor fix up that arm.
No. There's no need for that. If you're on the side of the law, you'll go get that bandit. Jesse here, she'll patch me up all right.
All right, Professor. Maybe we'll see you later.
Oh, sure, I hope so. Oh, say, my magic show opens in Coopersville tomorrow. Be sure and get it, will you?
We'll try.
Ah, good. That's fine. Stupid. Oh, I just love raspberry juice. Well, come on, let's get in and wash this off. Oh, that's good enough, Jesse. That's good enough. Thanks. Where did you put the gold?
In the trunk.
Right under their very noses, huh? Say, you know, Jesse, there's one thing about being a magician. I can make that one-eyed bandit appear or disappear just like magic. Huh?
You wanted to see me, Uncle Josh?
Yes, Bob. What time's the stage doing with that gold shipment?
11 o'clock, sir.
I want you to post some extra guards at the coach station. After what happened at Meadowtown yesterday, we can't afford to take any more chances.
Yes, sir.
And Bob, please tidy yourself up. Button your vest and your shirt. If you hope to run this bank someday, you have to look like a banker.
Yes, sir.
I tell your cousin Fred I want to see him right away.
Bob said you wanted to see me, Uncle Josh.
Yes. Did you check again at the sheriff's office for reports on that one-eyed bandit?
Yes, sir. He seems to have made a clean getaway after that Meadowtown job.
I'll say he has. A clean getaway with about $10,000 of our money. How one man can outwit every peace officer in the state is beyond me.
Well, he's bound to be caught sooner or later, Uncle Josh.
Well, let's make it sooner. Tell the sheriff I'm doubling the reward money.
Yes, sir.
What do you want? Who are you?
I'm a friend. I want to talk to you.
Friends don't wear masks. Say, I remember you.
Yes, Mr. Blaine. The old Wade gang.
Will I ever forget them? They robbed me threadbare a few years ago. If it hadn't been for you and that Indian friend of yours, what are you doing back in this territory?
I'm after the outlaw who's been robbing your banks.
Good. I'll give you all the help I can. That hombre's been too smart for everybody. What plan have you got in mind?
Nothing yet, Mr. Blaine. Just a hunch. This one-eyed bandit seems to be robbing your banks one by one.
And you figure he's due here next?
Yes, I do. It seems that he knows in advance every time you receive a new gold shipment. It's my hunch that someone in your employ is tipping him off.
Well, that's impossible, friend. Nobody knows about those shipments in advance except me and my two nephews, Bob Lacey and Fred Bowen. And I'll stake my life those boys are above suspicion.
What makes you so sure?
Why, neither one of them has ever done a dishonest thing in his life, except maybe to each other. And that's just good-natured rivalry. You see, I promised the one that made the best banker would get the best job when I passed on.
The fact remained, Mr. Blaine, that someone is giving out that information. And if only 3 people know about it, it must be one of those 3.
I hate to think it of either of those boys.
I'd like a good look at them, Mr. Blaine. Would you mind calling them in?
Sure. Oh, wait a minute. Suppose one of them is crooked as you think. Won't it be dangerous to let him know that you're on his trail?
Yes, very dangerous. But it will also force him to warn his outlaw friend that I'm here.
Oh, I see what you mean. You think one of them might get scared and give himself away.
Yes, that's just what I'm hoping.
Bob, Fred, come here a minute. Close the door. What are you staring at? This masked man is a friend of mine. This is Fred, and that's Bob.
Glad to know you, Fred. Bob?
He helped me out of a jam once, and he's here to try and do it again. He thinks one of the 3 of us is working in cahoots with a one-eyed bandit.
One of us? But how could we? Uncle Josh and Bob and me don't work with crooks.
I'm glad to know it, Fred. Have either of you any idea how he gets his advanced information?
He's just done some lucky guessing, that's all.
I don't think so. Why should he rob banks only owned by your uncle?
That's something that's been puzzling me, too. Reckon the only way to find out is to capture him.
You got any ideas how to do it, mister?
Not yet. But if my hunch is right, he'll be headed here next, and I'll be waiting for him. Unless someone warns him not to come.
I hope your hunch is right. We just have to wait. All right, boys, get back to work. One of those boys a crook? I won't believe it.
Well, that's all for now, Mr. Blaine. Tonto and I will be camping near the old Bradley barn. I'll see you again.
All right, thanks.
Well, how's that, all right?
All right.
Here. Well, hello there, Injun. What are you doing around here?
Me wait for masked friend. Him at bank.
Oh, he is, huh? Say, how did you and the masked man get along yesterday? Did you catch up with that one-eyed bandit?
Him plenty smart, make quick getaway. We find horse him steal, but not him.
Yeah, oh, he's an awful slick fella. I'm just setting up for my show this afternoon. Did you ever see a magic show before?
Me see Indian magic, not white magic.
Oh, brother, you ain't seen nothing. Come on in and I'll show you a few tricks. Come on in there, Injun. Come on in. Oh, Jesse, look what we got here again, the Injun, huh? Come on up here, son. Come on up here. Don't be bashful. Say, how long are you and the masked man planning to be around town?
Me not know.
No. What did you get down at the bank for? Thank you.
Him have business there.
Oh, yeah, I catch on, Injun. You kind of figured that maybe that one-eyed bandit is going to strike here next, huh? Oh, I sure hope that you catch him.
Very good, Professor. I saw Tonto's horse outside.
Yeah, well, I just been trying to show your Indian friend here a couple of tricks. My business to make things disappear, you know. How would you like to have me make those 2 guns of yours disappear?
Oh, thanks.
How about one of them bullets?
All right.
Well, I guess that's a pretty fancy bullet, ain't it? Silver, isn't it? Now you see it. Now you don't.
That plenty clever trick. Where a bullet go?
Well, sir, it's right up here under your chin, Indian. There it is right there, see it?
How him do that?
That's part of a magician's stock and trade, Tonto. I imagine the professor can make much bigger things disappear than a bullet if he wants to.
You're sure right about that. Just watch this. Now, stand right there. Don't move. Now you see me. Now you don't.
Where him go?
Well, I didn't go anyplace, Injun. I'm right over here. Well, now that you've seen the sample of my show, tell the folks to come to see it this afternoon, will you?
We certainly will, Professor. In fact, we may be back ourselves. We'd better go, Tonto.
I don't trust that masked one. There's something about him.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, Jesse.
He suspects something. I'm sure of it. We'd better change our plans for the holdup.
No. That masked fella in the engine can't interfere with any of our plans.
How are you going to stop him?
Well, you'll find out just as soon as our friend from the bank gets here this afternoon. Well, come on, let's get ready for the show.
That professor, plenty clever fellow.
Plenty clever, Tonto. So clever he can use his wounded arm as if it never been shot at all.
That's right, Kemo Sabe. Me forget about bullet in arm. Him trick us yesterday. You think him man we look for?
Yes, I do, Tonto. Magicians have many disguises.
Then why we not capture him before him rob again?
Because it's our only way to find out who his accomplice is. We'll wait till he makes the next move.
Look. I don't know what to do about you, Bob. These figures are all wrong. You don't seem to have the knack for this business that your cousin Fred has.
I'll try as hard as I can, Uncle Josh.
Well, you'd have to try harder. You come back this afternoon to correct these figures.
But this is Saturday. I promised Mary White I'd take her to that new magic show in town this afternoon.
The bank comes first. I'll expect you back here.
Uncle Josh, you must have a bank book for a heart.
Come in. Well, what is it, boy? What is it?
Uncle Josh, I don't know exactly how to tell you this.
Come on, out with it, whatever it is.
Well, it's Bob.
What about him?
I saw him sneak off alone this morning, right after the gold shipment came in. I got suspicious and I followed him.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a man going out alone.
There is, if he meets a one-eyed bandit.
What do you mean?
I followed him to that barn where the magic show's gonna be. I peeked through one of the windows.
Go on.
Uncle Josh, Professor Hannibal Lee, he's the man we're after. I saw him trying on a black beard and wig. Worse than that, I saw Bob hand him a key. I think it was one to that door.
Bob?
They talked a lot. I could only hear bits. I think the holdup's planned for this afternoon, right before the show. If we stay here, we might be able to catch him red-handed.
You bet your life we catch him red-handed. Listen, you go out and get the masked man and the Indian. And get him back here quick. We haven't got much time.
Yes, sir, right away.
I'm glad you're here. Did Fred tell you about Bob?
Yes, a neat little setup. I should have realized that every time one of your banks was held up, Professor Lee's magic show was in town.
What do we do now?
We'll lock the door. He'll be suspicious if it's open on Saturday afternoon.
And then?
We'll wait.
It's nearly 2 o'clock. If he's coming here before a show starts, it'll have to be soon.
It will be. Mr. Blaine, you and Fred hide in the corner. Keep yourselves well covered. Tonto, you stay with me.
Hey, what is it?
It's the end of the trail for you, Professor.
You're wrong, mister. It's the end of the trail for you.
Why, Fred, what's got into you?
Don't try anything, Uncle. I'll let you have it, too.
Good work, Freddie, my boy. We couldn't have planned it better.
I don't understand.
It wasn't Bob who saw the professor this morning. It was Fred.
But why, Fred? Why?
You'll find that out, Uncle. Into the vault. Come on, all of you. Keep him covered, Professor.
Don't leave anything behind, Freddie, my boy. Let's make this our biggest day.
Don't worry, Professor. There'll be plenty for both of us.
You can't get away with it, Fred.
Can I? Who's going to expose me?
I will, as soon as I leave here.
What makes you think you're going to leave here?
Why, you wouldn't leave us locked up in here. We'd suffocate.
That's a general idea.
But Fred, the bank. I was going to leave the biggest share to you.
I know, Uncle. I took a peek at your will. And if you die now, you won't have a chance to change it, will you? Okay, Professor, I've got it all.
Come on, stand back, let him by. The one-eyed bandit strikes again. Well, pleasant dreams, gentlemen.
What do we do? We'll die in here.
You're right, Mr. Blaine. This vault is solid as a tomb.
You use the right word, friend. This vault is our tomb.
All right, now, friends and neighbors, if you'll just gather up here a little closer to us, we're just about to start, to commence, to begin the greatest show on earth. Step inside and see these prodigious pranks of prestidigitation. Step inside and see me saw a woman in half. Step inside and hear the talking parrot. And all my friends and neighbors, for the modest sum of 25 cents, 1/4 of a dollar.
I thought you'd never get here. Is everything all right?
Couldn't be better, Jessie, my dear. The money's in the trunk.
Shorten the act and get out of here.
What, and make them suspicious? We're going to take plenty of time. Give them their money's worth. Now, don't miss a single fabulous, fascinating, fabulous phase of this phenomenal foolery. Step right over here and get your ticket, sir. The show starts in just a few minutes. You're just in time. Okay, thank you, my friend, and step right inside. Modern mystery, my friends, in a modern mood. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the show, thank you very much, brother. You're just in time, son. Step inside. See the greatest show on earth.
I'd like to, friend, but a certain old killjoy won't let me.
That's your hard luck, son. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Get me out of here! Get me out of here!
Take it easy, Mr. Blaine. Save your energy. You'll last longer.
Just remembered. Bob Lacey told him to come back. Maybe in my office.
Bob Lacey.
It's no use. Never hear you in there.
There may be one way.
What's that? Uncle Josh.
You put on a great show, Professor.
We put on 2 great shows today, Freddie, my boy. I'll bet those 3 hombres are plenty dead by now.
Where are you headed for next?
Cloverdale. I'll wait there until I hear from you about the next job, huh?
Take Mrs. Lee to the sheriff. We'll have the other 2 in a minute.
Okay, Professor. You sit tight. As soon as the next gold shipment's due, you'll hear from me.
Good.
The masked man.
Don't move. Fred, off the platform. All right, Professor, the show's over. Come down with your hands high.
You forget, my friend, that I'm first and foremost a magician. I can make myself disappear at will.
magic to this, Professor. You're through. Get going.
Me show you a trick. You watch close, Kemo Sabe, and me been practicing. And now you see, now you don't.
Very good, Tonto. Where's the bullet now?
Trick work right behind somebody's ear.
You mean... like this, Tonto? You'd make a good magician.
Well, friend, now that we've turned our prisoners over to the sheriff, are you sure there's no way I can pay you for your help?
No thanks, Mr. Blaine. Just make sure that Bob here makes a good banker.
Don't worry, mister. I'll sure try hard.
Well, Tonto, we've had enough magic for today. Goodbye, friends.
Goodbye, and thanks.
The world would be a better place if there were more men like those two.
You're right, Bob. But there's only one Tonto and one Lone Ranger.
Hail, Silver!